Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what I want to do is to talk about watch brands that I think are good targets, I'll put it that way, for collectors. In other words, these would be ones that I think are worth looking at on a number of different parameters, probably not the ones you've seen before, so let's take a look at it. Um, the first, and by the way, too, I'm going to be looking at Vacheron Constantin. I'll be looking at some other brands as well, but I thought I'd start off with Vacheron Constantin. The first thing I like about the brand is that they have an actual real entry level watch. Now, what do I mean by entry level? It usually comes down to this is the least expensive watch they have. Uh, Anything under 15,000 with a Vacheron Constantin is really pretty good. I mean, they sort of go from there up into the 20s. And the 56 self-winding is 12,700. This is again the list price. These days, that's pretty much what you'd have to pay for it for a new one. I haven't checked on this particular one for the pre-owned. That's something I think you should do if you're interested in any of these things. Now, the caliber 1326, this is I suppose, the part that the Geneva seal said, not quite. You're not quite fancy enough for us. The caliber 1326 movement, it was based on, I believe, it's either a Piaget or a Cartier. And so they decided that several different watch companies that are owned by the Richemont group got the same movement. Now, Vacheron Constantin said, yeah, well, we got it too, but once we were finished with it, his mother wouldn't recognize it. So anyway, I always thought, okay, well, this is a good thing. Somebody wants a really good watch, I mean, but they don't want to spend 10, 20, $30,000 on it, but they want something at entry level. I think this is a great one. Now, the next thing I want to do is the pre-owned prices. This is probably counterintuitive for a lot of reasons. I wanted to take a look to see if there were more affordable watches for pre-owned. Um, I know there's a lot of people say, well, if you get this watch, it's going to hold its value. Every watch holds its value, whether they give it away or they sell it. What changes is the price. And so really what I'm looking at is pre-owned prices. Now this, if somebody gets, let's say, a Royal Eagle for $8,500 and turns around and sells it for $8,400, that's also a really way to, quote, keep their value. But anyway, there were some watches here. So you're going to very much an elite brand, Vacheron Constantin. And there are a number of watches they have that are very small, and I didn't think much of them. So I thought, well, I'll look for something a little bigger and a little more robust. And I came up with these two. They both happen to be at the same price, $8,500. One's a Royal Eagle chronograph. The other is the Patrimony Power Reserve. So I thought, well, yeah, both of these things, now they're not cheap. Remember, you were dealing with Vacheron Constantin, but they're not impossible. Now, the next category I have surprised even me, and that's iconic, because I grumble a lot about having the iconic category as part of the Grand Prix awards. But the thing about iconic I was thinking of, here's a watch that can be identified, and the watch nerds will even give you the history of it and all kinds of other information. And this one, the overseas, very much of an iconic Vacheron Constantin. It is their sports watch. Now, there were, I believe, going all the way back, winding the clock back, I don't know how many years, there was a watch called the 222. And after the 222, there was another one called the Phidias. Uh, I'm not sure how you describe these watches, but they were seen as sort of as a precursor to the first overseas. Now, the first overseas, one of the things, it had 8 horns instead of 6 like the new ones have. This is one looks very much like the one I owned. It's got center seconds, hours, minutes, and then it has a date window at 3 o'clock. And anyway, I had that for a number of years, used to wear it to work all the time. But until 2016, when they came out with the current model, they didn't have their in-house movement. They had decent movements, but by somebody else. So the one that I took as iconic would be the overseas. The other thing about the overseas too is that it comes with 3, well, I guess you call them 3 straps, or 2 straps and a bracelet. Comes with a rubber strap, a gator strap, and then a metal bracelet. And they all have this special attachment thing to it. Again, these are, I think it's an iconic one, and as people see it, they think Vacheron Constantin. There's some other watches that I could have mentioned, but I have not much of a chance of those. A lot of people have never heard of them. Now, the final thing that I had was a watch company have things that are innovative. In other words, they're not just sort of stick in the muds doing the same thing all the time. And there are a lot of different ways that Vacheron Constantin has done some innovative things. 2 here are 2 of my favorite. One's called, and I'm going to say this wrong in French, but it's Métiers d'Art, Tribute to Explorer and Naturalist. One is the Beetle Odyssey. Now, it's not the topic that I see as that kind of innovative, even though it is. But the way the watch is laid out, it's got jumping hours that are sort of just off about it's sort of 2/3 of the way from the crown to the middle of it. And then it has 60 minutes. And how that works, I'm not really sure. But it's innovative, it's different. The movement on this has a frequency of 19,000 something semi-oscillations per hour. So it's a real 3 hertz watch. Now, another one that I will mangle the French, I apologize in advance, is one I really liked a lot, and that's something that's called a collectionneuse Mercator, or that's how I would say Mercator, a Mercator, or something like that. This watch, I love this watch. On the left side of it, looking at it like this, the left side, you have 12 hours. So it's sort of an hour hand. And then on the right side, you have 60 minutes. And this thing is just, love this watch. Now, these watches are breathtakingly expensive. I believe the one on the left is over 200,000. And I think the one on the right I saw auction beginning at 85,000. So there are other kinds of things too that Vacheron Constantin has done. So that's another thing that I think, well, hey, this is a brand that's good for collectors. It's got a lot of stuff, an entry level, affordable, pre-owned. These kinds of things, I think, would make me as a collector happy. I hope it would you too. Let me know what you think, and use it as an opportunity to subscribe if you like. Until next time, this is Bill Sanders, Watch Outside, the Art and Science of Watch Collection.